What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dolce Diet channel, the big sister channel of the new Mike Dolce Knows channel that I do suggest you guys jump on over to Mike Dolce Knows, check out a few videos, and consider subscribing. You will not regret it, my personal guarantee to you. But today we're talking about something that is actually rather interesting and scary and honest. Can soda really kill you? Now, many of you are like, Dolce, dude, enough with your square ass. I don't know. What do you guys say about me, actually? I would love to know. It's like to know oneself is one of the hardest things to do. But what do you guys actually think about me behind the scenes? Like, oh, that Dolce is always talking shit about more soda. You only live once, Dolce, and just let kids have a soda from now and then time and again. Whatever you might say. But this is actually real information. But before we get to the can soda actually kill you, I wanted to discuss calls to boycott Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and Pepsi. Right? So let me make this a little bigger so we can briefly read this together. Then I'll talk about the new study on can soda kill you? Or, yeah, it's like not a matter if it can kill you, it's how dead you will actually be. But prior to that, this article caught my attention. Calls grow to boycott Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and Pepsi as major firms stay in Russia. Now, this is coming out of the Russia versus Ukrainian conflict. I don't know if we call it a war, we call it an invasion, we call it a conflict, we'll call it a tragedy for sure. Feel free to correct me, those geopolitical experts in our community. What is this called specifically? Calls have been mounting for a boycott of McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and PepsiCo as the companies have thus far, it's like my puberty voice, thus far not joined the ranks of the other major global firms in pulling their operations out of Russia. 3 Ukrainian supermarket chains announced they are removing Coca-Cola products from their store shelves, and the hashtags boycott Coca-Cola, boycott Pepsi, and boycott McDonald's were trending on Twitter over the weekend as customers vowed to shun their products so long as they continue to do business with Russia. Now, dozens of big corporations, including Apple and Netflix, have halted operations in Russia in the last 10 days since Vladimir Putin, president of Russia, launched a full-scale attack on the Ukraine. But while many firms have taken a stand, several food and drink companies have stayed silent and refused to cut ties with Russia. Now, briefly, what do you guys think about this? That's lady waving in the bottom of the screen is a little unsettling to me. So let's try and make that a little smaller, and let me try and bam, shut that off. I'll go back to maybe that screen. That's good for now. What do you guys think? Please feel free to leave any comments in the chats. I'd love to hear what you have to say, or leave any comments after this video. Do you think major retailers should stop doing business with Russia? Now, this is a interesting conversation because pulling business from Russia, well, that actually pulls the business away from the people of Russia. Does it hurt the government? Well, we can make that argument that if the people are losing access to Netflix and Apple products and maybe McDonald's and Coca-Cola and Pepsi, well, then the people might start to rebel against the government. That's one way to look at it. Or are we, the companies, punishing the people of Russia for the decisions of the politicians? Interesting. But now, the real topic I wanted to discuss as this story popped up is, can drinking soda really kill you? Ooh, let's break this down together, shall we? So, whether you call it a soft drink, soda, or pop, you've probably noticed that every few months, one study comes out detailing the health risk. Now, research published earlier this month in JAMA Internal Medicine offers an even more sobering message. Just 2 glasses per day of soda whether they're sweetened with sugar or artificial sweeteners, raises the risk of premature death by 13% compared to those who sip less than once per month. Whoa. Whoa. Yikes. Now, it does get worse. A study published earlier this year in the journal Circulation followed over 118,000 men and women for 30 years and concluded that each daily 12-ounce serving of a sugar-sweetened beverage, including soft drinks, lemonade, and other sugary fruit drinks, so it's not even just soda, it's any beverage that has added sugar, raised the risk of death by 7%, including a 5% increased risk for cancer and a 10% increased risk for death from cardiovascular disease. Now, the assertion is sugary drinks lead to weight gain, and anything that leads to weight gain increases the risk of conditions such as heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even certain cancer. Go on to say there are also other ingredients that may come into play. Soft drinks are made up of carbonated water, and there is preliminary research that suggests carbonated water may increase the levels of the hunger hormone ghrelin, thereby making one hungrier. That may lead to additional weight gain. Now, we go on. You can't live without your afternoon Diet Coke or crave the Diet Sprite at dinner, but research shows that diet soft drinks may carry health issues too. The JAMA study, for example, found that while drinking 2 or more, let me go back and then I'll come back to this, 2 or more sugar-sweetened beverages per day raise the risk of death by 8%. Now, those who drank artificially sweetened drinks had a 26% higher risk of death. 26% higher risk of death associated with drinking artificially sweetened sodas. This, I'm not surprised. This is exactly what I've been saying for over a decade, closer to 2 decades. And everybody, not you, but most of the fools in the community pretty much just pretend that what I'm saying is wrong, when in fact we know that I'm right. And the science, it's nice to see the science catch up to the Dolce community. Now, one of the reasons may be that diet sodas, instead of satisfying our sweet tooth, leave us craving for even more. They are 300 to 500 times sweeter than sugar, increasing our desire for more and more sweet foods and beverages, says Pharrell Allen. We would never add 300 sugar cubes in our cup of coffee, but non-nutritive sweeteners give us this false sense of what I call caloric security. In other words, you don't think about pairing a cheeseburger with your Diet Coke because, after all, you're sipping 0 calories. In my experience, clients who drink diet soft drinks almost always aren't satisfied with the drink alone. They want a sweet or salty food to go along with it. And that is by design. I did a video previously on hyperpalatability, and hyperpalatable foods increase just one taste of a hyperpalatable food, and there's a specific category of what those hyperpalatable foods are, but one taste of a hyperpalatable food can increase the total calories consumed in a single sitting by 160%. That means you eat a food that is chemically created to have a specific ratio of salt to fat, of salt to sugar, of sugar to fat. Now, there is a range within this ratio. And inside that ratio, that's where you find most of the chips, most of the crisps, most of the snacks out there. They are designed with that very specific ratio, as they are known to be hyper palatable. That hyper palatable food led the motto of, once you stop, you just can't stop. You can't eat just one. Those are hyper palatable foods, right? It's like the marketing company is very intentionally rubbing your face in the poison while you are buying more and more and more because you just can't stop eating them. That is a chemical creation. That is intentional. It's intentional that they do that. Another concern may be some of the chemicals, including the artificial sweeteners found in diet soft drinks. Lieberman added, aspartame found in drinks like Diet Coke has in the past been linked to cancers such as lymphoma and leukemia in lab animals. While later research has been more assuring, a 2012 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition did find that men who drank at least one diet soda a day had a higher risk of two cancers, multiple myeloma and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, than men who didn't drink any at all. Some other diet drinks contain sucralose, which has also been linked to cancer in animals. So we can go on, and there are studies linked to this. This comes from AARP. This was linked on their site. That's where I actually pulled this from, which I found rather interesting. So let's go back to this. Now let's go back to you guys. What do you think about that, guys and gals? I'm going to answer some questions here briefly. What do you think about that? Do you think soda can kill you? Do you think diet soda is better than regular soda? What do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you drink soda? I want to see it in the comments below. Most people drink the soda. Most people think it's okay to have a soda. Most people think it's okay to drink lemonade instead of a soda. They think it's okay to drink iced tea instead of soda, but they don't turn around the container. They don't read the fact panel, and they don't realize that that lemonade, that iced tea, that apple juice has the exact same amount of added sugar as that can of soda. It's literally the exact same thing with a different label. What we say here, the front of any container is the marketing. I don't care what it tells me on the front. The only thing I care about is the fact panel on the back. That is the nutrition facts or the supplement facts and the ingredient list. Anything else on that product means nothing. So I urge you, my friends, do not buy anything unless you have read the fact panel, read the ingredient panel, and you say, I am 100% confident that nothing on this fact panel will hurt my children. I take total responsibility for feeding this to my children. And I will ask you, parents, think of the foods that you feed your children. The foods you feed your children, why don't you eat those? When I ask that question, people are like, oh, because it makes me sick. Okay. If that food makes you feel sick, why do you feed it to your children? That doesn't make sense, does it? Because you can feel like, oh my God, this makes me feel sick. My body's responding to it so terribly. It's horrible. But anyway, once this video posts, I'll put links to these two stories so you guys can read this, do your own due diligence, make decisions for yourself, make informed, educated decisions, my friends. That's what we are here for. Kaiser says, Mike, are you familiar with Paul Saladino, aka the Carnivore MD? He's a doctor who was on Joe Rogan. He only eats meat, fruit, and honey. He says plants are bullshit. I think he is bullshit. I know he's bullshit. He calls himself the Carnivore MD, but he's not a carnivore. He's an omnivore. So that's bullshit in and of itself. He's an omnivore. He eats animal products and he eats plant products. He talks about how seeds are terrible, and then he takes credit for George St. Pierre's physique, but George St. Pierre eats seeds all the time. So I don't know. Does George listen to him? Did George not listen to him? Is Paul kind of full of shit? Like, what is it? Lots and lots and lots of contradiction, mostly to sell products. That's the issue here that I have. I don't know if Paul's a good guy or a bad guy. It doesn't matter. But I know he pretends to be a carnivore when in fact he's an omnivore, which means he's intentionally lying to the public. He's an omnivore, right? He eats animal products. He eats plant products. You're an omnivore, dude. But he pushes this whole carnivore agenda, which is hot right now because that's where the SEO, the clicks, the keywords are. So it's a marketing concept. It's not an education concept. And that's too bad because I think the populations gets hurt. Justice, what's up, Justice? Much love to you. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Paul, the sweet spot, baby. What's up, Paul? Justice says, I admire your appeal to the facts and metabolic individuality rather than your appeal to greed and conforming to culture. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those kind words. I really do appreciate that. I am here to help educate you, whatever I know, to share whatever information with you so you can then make decisions for yourself. That's what we do here. Thank you, Justice. Rice, scary. It is scary, right? It's terrible, horrible. Chris says, nope, it's been a long time since I've drank soda. Good for you, Chris. I don't even remember the year I drank soda. And I drank soda. It was situational. It was maybe 2007. maybe 2007, summer of 2007. We had been living in Portland, Oregon for about 2 solid years. I finally came back home to New Jersey after 2 years away. And there was this place called the Circus Drive-In right on Highway 35 in Wall Township. And it was a throwback to the 1950s. My mom used to go there as a girl, and literally you would pull in and the waitresses would come out on the roller skates. It was that place. And it was one of the last ones left in New Jersey. And it was there. And I grew up, and we would go there in the summer, and you get a hamburger and fries, and you'd have your little soda and like a little milkshake. You'd sit in your car, and they'd hang the little basket on the window. And it was just this great romantic feeling. So Brandy and I fly back summer of 2007. We like see of all friends and all of our family who hadn't seen anybody in like 2 years. And we go to this circus. And I said, let's do it. Let's just do the whole thing. Let's have the whole Jersey Shore summer, beautiful hot summer day experience. We roll into the circus. I order a cheeseburger with French fries, and I got myself either a root beer. It was a root beer. I usually do like a root beer or a Dr. Pepper back in the early Fat Mike days. I got a root beer, and I ate some burger, ate a couple fries. I sipped the root beer, and it was like I drank Drano, because I hadn't drank a sip of soda in the 2 years at least before that. It was like I drank Drano. I felt disgusting. I had to stop eating. I had to go back home and lay down. It ruined the rest of my day. Ruined my day. That was the last time I drank soda. It was horrible. Brandy felt the exact same way. Justice, I've been practically begging my dad to give up soda. Well, Justice, let me, while we're here talking, I'm just going to throw this into the chat under the title Soda Kills. So look in the chat. You can pull that link right now. Say, hey, Dad, you probably want to read this. Dad, I love you, Dad. He has in the past, and he looked like a new person, felt so much better, but he's a former addict. And it's just a transfer from drugs to sugar. He keeps on relapsing. I get it. I understand, right? I'm not a drug abuse counselor, but I would suggest considering something else, possible physical activity, as a way to trade up, right? To trade up the addiction, right? Probably sugar is a better addiction than some of the other harder drugs, right? But now hopefully he can trade up from the sugar addiction to something else. Down 38 pounds, baby. Rice killing it. Ooh, 38 pounds down, my man. Screenshot that, Rice. 38 pounds, baby. I love it. If anybody's interested, click the link below. You can follow the same program Rice is following. 38 pounds. That is awesome, man. You dramatically change your life. I say, if you can lose 20 pounds and keep it off, you've changed your life forever. You've lost double that, Rice. Super proud of you, my man. Joe says, I gave up soda about 15 years ago. My dad used to say, look at what soda does to the paint of a car. Exactly. And I felt it when I had that root beer. Oh my God, I was so sick. Axe says, just got here. I don't know if you already answered, but thoughts on regular soda and zero sugar soda. Both are trash. Both are trash. And in fact, let me pull up this study very briefly. The JAMA study found that drinking 2 or more sugar sweetened drinks a day, regular soda, increased your risk of death by 8%. Those who drank artificially sweetened drinks had a 26% higher risk of death. Yikes. And that's what we've said all along. Artificially sweetened and sugar-free, artificially sweetened and whatnot is actually worse than drinking the sugarcane version. It's actually worse for long-term health. Justice, is it effective to do maintenance calories 5 to 6 days of the week and then have a day or two where you're in maybe 1,000-calorie deficit for 1 or 2 days? It is, but I would strongly suggest you jump on over to the Mike Dolce Knows channel. And I literally just put out a video today. Fat loss intervals. Let me show you. Right here, this video right here, fat loss intervals. I literally break this down, how you can actually burn body fat and not worry about cutting calories. So if you're going to be at maintenance, you're likely already skimming the surface of a deficit. And then you're going to hit an additional 1 or 2 days of 1,000+ calorie deficit. You are not long for that program. That program will not work long for you. I strongly suggest you jump on over. Boom, boom. And I'll throw this in. Click that link in the chat right now. It's the Mike Dolce Knows channel. It should pop up in a new window. Click that, subscribe to the channel. Go back and watch this fat loss intervals video. It's a 4-minute video I did today while I was finishing up my own cardio. So you can see I'm in the middle of my cardio routine, just stopping it. And I explain exactly what I'm doing to get summer shredded. If you guys want to get summer shredded, if you want to join me in the summer shredded challenge, there is no purchase necessary. Watch that fat loss video and I tell you what to do and I give you the link to be a part of it. Now's the time. But definitely check out that video. Gino, ever since I learned about the Dolce Diet back in 2013, I gave up soda forever. We can give up things that do not serve a purpose in our life. Gave up drinking beer too a little later. Gino, I'm super proud of you, my man. It's awesome, right? Life is amazing when you're not poisoning yourself. For sure. I gave all that crap up too. A long time. Mine was in 2003 or so. 2002, 2003. You literally saving lives for free, coach. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Paul. I'm working hard for you, my man. You know it. Charlie, boom. Thanks, coach. Can you recap basic strength standards? Push-ups, 50 reps or 100. Body weight squats, 100 reps. Pull-ups, 20 reps. Yes. So we want to come out of, we are either a novice, a beginner, an intermediate, advanced, professional, or elite. We have 6 different categories, right? Novices, you've never done anything ever before. You've never trained, or you did train, but you're so far out of shape, you're back to 0. Beginner is you have a little bit of understanding, you have a little bit of skill, you have a little technical proficiency, but you're still not quite very strong. So then we have entry-level novice, exit level. Entry-level beginner, exit level. So there's ranges. Charlie, this is actually worthy. I've done a video on this previously, but I'll do another video. Now, in order to become an exit level novice, you must be able to do 100 body weight squats. People are like, wow, that's too much. No, it's not. To exit beginner, you must be able to do 1 repetition with the equivalent of your body weight in 1 full squat. So you see how we've scaled 100 non-stop. I should say non-broken, because non-stop, it's like you can't take a breath. No, you can do 10, take a deep breath. That's typically what I'll do on 100 rep squat days. I'll do typically maybe 20 or so. Then I'll take a deep breath, like a 3 count, and I'll do 20 more, another 3 count. It's only 5 sets of 20, but unbroken means we don't move our feet. Okay. Push-ups, same thing. 100 nonstop push-ups. This is a little bit harder. I know. I understand. Chin-ups, we say 20 chin-ups, but we'll give you 10. Because chin-ups are a little bit different for a lot of people. And some people, they carry their weight differently. Some people have a lot more weight distribution, so we have a slight sliding scale. But 100 unbroken body weight squats, 100 unbroken push-ups. Now, that's the hard one for a lot of people at first. But the progression of 0 push-ups to 3 push-ups to 10 push-ups to 20 to 50 to 80 to 100 is pretty quick, right? If you can do 1 push-up, you can do 3. If you can do 3 push-ups, you can do 10. If you can do 10 push-ups, you can do 30. You can do 30, you can do 50. You just have to make sure your form is nice and tight. A lot of people, they get wobbly hips. Their hips start to bow. They start to get real flaccid in the hips. So mostly in teaching push-ups is teaching core control. Once your core is locked in, it becomes very easy. I posted a video today on my Instagram page. You guys should jump over there and watch it briefly. Unbroken, you can pause, but not pick up the hands. Exactly. And you can't put the knees down. So there's people say, oh, those are girl push-ups. No, there's no girl push-ups here. I know girls who can slam out 100 push-ups, no problem. And I know boys who can't do 10, right? So it's just a matter of scaling. Novice, we'll start. Absolutely, we will start knees on the ground. And in fact, we'll start people doing push-ups against the wall, standing. And then we'll just slowly keep walking their feet backwards. And then we'll do their hands on a bench, right? So now it's a little bit more prone. And then we'll actually go full on the floor. And then maybe we'll have them, put their knees on the ground. They'll push up. They'll lift their knees off the ground, and then they'll slowly perform the eccentric. They'll slowly lower themselves with their knees off the floor. they'll put their knees back down, they'll push themselves back up. So we'll scale I got to do videos on these, actually. These are like, it's hard to describe as I'm talking, but I got this whole beautiful gym floor here. I will do that for you. Charlie, great question, by the way. Guys and gals, definitely jump on over, check out the Mike Dolce Knows channel. Lots of great videos on there. We already exceeded 1,000 new subscribers. Be one of the first 10,000 subscribers. We are on our way to 100,000 subscribers, and you can say you were one of the early adopters of the Mike Dolce Knows channel. I want you to check that out, but I want you to see the videos. Like the fat loss intervals, I think is awesome. I really break that down on how you can get shredded, lose body fat without cutting calories. It's counterintuitive for most people, but this is the way we do it here. So hopefully you guys like that. I like you. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to jump out now because it is karate day for my kids. So we're going to watch them get belted up today. Hopefully they've earned the next belt for their karate, training. But anyway, until next time, guys. Boom.